welcome to the Cav Cast. I am your host, CSM NextX, as always, and with me is my co-host slash producer, Burton. Welcome, Burton. And this week we have a couple of special guests from 2nd Platoon in Charlie Company 1-7, First Lieutenant Hilberg. And Master Sergeant Westcott. So, that being said, welcome to the Cav Cast. We're super excited to kind of chat with you guys about your experience with Platoon Staff and in the Cav and all the other good stuff that, you know, comes up within different Cav Cast episodes. So, super stoked to have you guys tonight. So we'll just kind of jump into it with, you know, the basic, easy questions. Can you guys just tell us a little bit about yourselves, you know, who you are, you know, that kind of stuff? Yeah, a little bit about yourself.
Deployment. Back on the thing, I used to play the old Operation Flashpoint and started watching Armor 3 videos and then got interested again and found my way to the Cav. But 11 years Marine Corps officer, and yeah, I guess that's it. It's probably not very interesting, but
What about yourself, Westcott?
A little bit about me. Master Sergeant Westcott. You can call me Westcott or any other expletive will work. I usually respond to anything. Been in the Cav about 3 years. Actually, just over 3 years. Just turned 3. Been in Misfit Platoon the entire time. Started off as a rifleman and worked my way up through every single position all the way to platoon sergeant. And it has been an absolute blast. Prior service as well. 14 years, United States Navy, of which the Marine Corps is a department of. and did a lot of deployments, but a lot of time at sea. I was in aviation. Worked on H-60s exclusively off of small boy ships, and I had almost 6 years sea time in 14 years, which is unheard of for an aviation guy. But that's about me. That's a little bit about me.
Sweet. Well, welcome. And it's kind of cool that you guys both have a little bit of background, you know, doing similar stuff. So kind of tell us what inspired you guys to join the Cav and specifically get so invested into Charlie Company.
Westcott, you go first now. No.
Yeah, you guys can trade on and off.
Okay, cool. How I joined the Cav. I was actually playing DayZ on console and Xbox for a while. And I wanted to play with mods. So I got a PC. I bought a gaming PC. And started playing on random DayZ servers with some people and a couple of friends that I had from Xbox. And I met a couple of guys and we started hanging out. And one of them actually would join the Cav. And he's like, hey, have you ever played Arma? I was like, nope, never played Arma. He's like, well, it's the game DayZ came from, essentially. You should try it out. So I bought Arma and started playing King of the Hill, and it was really, really, really bad. And he's like, hey, do you want to do some like stuff against AI with a whole bunch of mods? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, here, fill out this enlistment thing and come join me. And so I joined with 2 other guys into 1-2 Charlie. And they lasted about 3-4 months, and I stuck around because I kind of liked it.
Fell in love.
Yeah, not necessarily fell in love. It was just something that clicked, you know. Just one of those things. Was like, yeah, I think I can do this. I'm having fun doing this. I like the hour a week. I like the structure, and I'm meeting some cool people.
And you guys have both been Charlie the whole time, right?
I've been Charlie
Or either of you waver.
I think Hilberg, you were Bravo for a second, weren't you?
I was.
Oh boy.
Let's hear your story, boss.
um, so yeah, like I said, I was on my last deployment coming off, and Operation Flashpoint, and just watching videos like, oh, Armor 3. I hadn't played PC games in forever. I was a console guy if I played. And then came back and got involved with another organization that was primarily on the European time zone, and it worked out, but it didn't a lot of times. And so had to leave due to scheduling. And one of my friends was like, "Hey man, I play in the server. Knowing your style, you should go check this out." So went played on TAC-R a couple times. Put in my application to the 7 Cav, liked what I saw. Actually, Burton was my recruiting officer. Now he's R&D. Like, I don't know. I went through boot camp with Burton, and we had a conversation. Got into Bravo Troop. Spent some time there, and ended up making a transfer to Charlie. Pretty early on. I wouldn't say early on, but probably a half year in. And they just went from there. Came in ASL. It was ASL and Bravo, but came as ASL's Charlie, and spent about 2.5 years from ASL and up to squad lead, and became platoon lead.
Why did it take you so long?
So I that's a great question. I don't know. I definitely found my home in Charlie. It's definitely a place I've been at Misfit Platoon the entire time, and Misfit Platoon is my home. It's my platoon, and I don't say that as the platoon leader. It's just literally, it's my home. But it's been great. Just the troopers, the interaction, the esprit de corps, the morale, and just what we do during SPs and operations. We hold the standard. So.
Well, and arguably, I mean, the culture of Misfit is also a big part of that. I feel like similar to how the Reapers are in Second Bat, Misfit is in Charlie Company. Like, Misfit has always been Misfit, if that makes sense.
You know it.
Funny story. When I talked to Burton when he came in, and I asked him about my name change, and I was like, "Hey, can I be Misfit?" Because my old call sign, I had 2 call signs in Marine Corps: Misfit Actual and Panda. And we can get into if you
Panda?
want to know about Panda. Yeah, it was Panda.
Oh boy,
that was my JTAC call sign, but was Misfit Actual, and it's serendipitous, right? I ended up in Misfit, and now I'm Misfit Actual, and that was a previous call sign I held in the Marine Corps. So,
love it. Just like a continuation of real life into the game world. Always makes it a little bit more enjoyable. Misfit is best fit, says Rodall. That's awesome. Well, what's kind of like, if you guys had to pick out, one thing that is your favorite thing about the Cav and about Charlie and all the things that come in with that, what would you guys say is like your favorite thing about the Cav?
All right.
I went first last time. You're up.
Yeah, no, it's my turn. I was about to say it. Favorite thing about the Cav is the camaraderie and just the relationships that you build. I know I spent a lot of time on Discord. I spent a lot of time at other SPs, and just building relationships and having that interaction and camaraderie and collaboration within battalions, and also within the battalion and companies, doing joint section practices and just supporting each other. That's great. And then just the friends you make along the way. As Westcott likes to say, we share one brain cell, and
just rattles around between the two of you.
Yes, it does. Your turn, Westcott.
My favorite thing about the Cav, man. The people. You meet all sorts of people who have different opinions on everything. You can give every person in the Cav a single task, and it can be the same task, and you'll get back 800 different ways how to accomplish that task. And that fascinates me from just a kind of a people watcher standpoint.
Sure.
It's one of those just things. I like watching people and interacting with people in a virtual space. I'm not too good with people offline in real life, but this is a good place where I can actually express myself and be around people. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think you actually make a really good point. I feel like the Cav in itself doesn't vet, like, yes, there's value of people that have been here longer, or people that are higher rank and things like that, but we also are willing to listen to pretty much anybody, regardless of their rank or who they are. Like, it is kind of a hive mind of ideas, so you might ask a question and get 800 different ideas from every single different person, right? It's not just like one or the other. Which I think is kind of a cool point that you touched on. Like, if someone has an idea and they want to propose it and send it up, like, there is always going to be someone that will at least listen to that idea. Granted, most ideas probably don't work out, or there's weird logistics or whatever, but there's always somebody at some level that's willing to listen, which I think is kind of what you're touching on.
Yep, exactly.
Now, going through your day-to-day life in the Cav, or just in general, if you guys want to talk about personal stuff, you can do that. But what's kind of like a typical week in the life of Hilberg and Westcott?
Oh boy, I'm up first on this one. Right? I think so.
Yeah.
We'll just stick with the Cav week for now. Typical week of in exchanges between Hilberg and myself would be memes, funny videos, just random FUs at just a message, just random at no particular reason or rhyme, just
Sure.
because. Followed by slight emotional breakdowns on my part, asking to be fired, saying I deserve to be fired, stuff like this. And then also the checks and balances we have with each other, because we're both pretty fired up people at times. We're pretty emotional. We're pretty raw. We definitely wear our hearts on the sleeves. So
passion.
Passionate, and we have to we do well at keeping each other in check and listening to each other, because we have a mutual respect built up between us because of our 2+ year history of being troopers and leading together in a Misfit platoon.
What about you, Hilbert?
That'd be about a week.
Yeah. Westcott couldn't have said it better. I actually hoped I got this question, but we, as the hive mind that we are, the one brain cell we share, I am his emotional support animal.
It's now Panda.
Yeah, it's an emotional support panda. But yeah, it's, we share memes with each other, and we communicate about what's going on in the Cav. But more importantly, like, we're handling business, but we're also friends, and we make sure we have that balance.
Yeah.
And then check each other. Westcott's very true on that. I tell him to call me out, and he calls me out, and he tells me to call him out when he needs to be called out, and we call out and we have the discussion, and done. Westcott and I have been working for a long time together. We have a benefit that maybe other platoon staff doesn't have, that we've been squad leaders together, ASLs together, different squads, obviously, but have been working together for a long time. So we just understand what's happening in a tactical sense, but also in a personal sense. So
is there a specific time, Hilberg, that you can think of, and you don't have to share specifics, but where Westcott did check you on something and you were like, oh man, that actually was a really bad idea, I'm glad you said something? And if you can't think of anything, that's fine. I'm just curious.
No, I'm trying to think, and I'm going to lean on Westcott here. There was a time I said, hey, it's a typical interaction with Westcott and I. Not typical, but we're talking, and Westcott's passionate about something, and I'm talking to him, and he comes to me, he's like, if you want to fire me, boss, just fire me. And I'm like, listen, no, I don't want to fire you. I'm just trying to talk about this. But I also need you to tell me, and maybe it was my acknowledgement, and then Westcott saying, yeah, I appreciate your acknowledgement, and saying, you want to check yourself. I need you to check yourself right now. I can't think of the scenario, Westcott. Do you remember that one?
I don't. It happens. It just happens.
It's fluid, man. It's fluid.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Hilberg said, once we settle something, it's done. So water under the bridge, gone, done. Next thing.
Yeah, moving on.
Yeah, I think that's a similar experience that everybody has, with their colleague at every level, whether you're an ASL and an SL or platoon sergeant, platoon leader. I know, like, coming up through the ranks myself, there's definitely been times where with like Theron or with Lacombe when I was working with him, the different people where it's like you're kind of checking off of each other and you're like, ooh, like maybe that wasn't a good idea. I should probably like run this by my colleague and see if this is gonna rub a bunch of people the wrong way or if they are also in agreement, because there's definitely decisions that are made that are a lot easier when everybody at the same level is on the same page. So that way nobody's playing catch up. So it's good that you guys have that check and balance and backboard that you can bounce things off of.
I will add to that next
Yeah.
that we communicate a lot to an over communication standpoint. So if Westcott's thinking something, he's like, "Hey, what do you think?" We go back and forth, and especially if we're talking about something that needs to push up the chain of command.
Sure.
But we trust each other enough where, I travel a lot for work, so I may be sitting in an airport in a hotel, and he's like, "Hey, can you read this?" It's like, I don't have a lot of time. I'm reading it, but I trust you. It's my approval. I'll follow up on the back end.
Yeah.
We just have a good back and forth trusting relationship because we communicate so much and we know each other. So
Yeah. Well, like you said, you guys built that up. It wasn't just something that happened overnight. It takes time to build that trust.
100%.
So, what's one thing that people might not know about you? Either of you can go.
Do I make something up or do I tell the truth?
Well, they won't know. So that's
they will never
that's
know.
The beauty of it.
No, I'll tell you. I played guitar for like 30-something years.
Oh shit! Really? Are you
Yes.
in like a band, or do you just diddle, or what?
I have just played personally for my that's just the way I got things out, express myself.
Sure.
But I also was in a couple cover bands and here where I live a couple years ago for about a decade. But yeah,
Did you
I have
did you ever compete in like a battle of the bands or anything like that?
no, never a battle of bands. We just played shitty covers of songs in bars in Panama
Nice.
City.
Nice. That's awesome.
There's
All right.
a separate podcast for that experience for Westcott. Let me tell you.
What about you, Hilberg? What's one thing that most people don't know about you?
I also played in a band growing up in high school, but I was one of those guys that floated around. Never as talented as Westcott. I can wiggle my ears,
Ooh.
and I'm a scratch golfer. So
No, you're not.
just throwing it out there. Yep.
I don't believe you.
Hey, I'll meet you, dude. Where you want to
I
go?
guess you did say that you do a lot of business travel, so I would imagine you probably practice quite a bit with clients and things like that.
I played in college before I joined the Marine Corps.
Oh.
I only played in college because I busted my knee playing football my sophomore year, and I was like, I got to do something. So,
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Very relevant, especially with Masters going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, all that being said, and all the good stuff and all that kind of things that go on with Cav, what do you guys do to stay motivated? Because both of you, collectively have been here for a while. It's not like it's your first month or year in the Cav. You guys have seen turnover. You guys have seen games come and go. So what do you guys do to stay motivated? What's the retention for you guys that keeps you kicking every week, month to month, all that?
What keeps me motivated? It's the troopers. It's good training, providing, good training, good operations, good FTXs, and I mean, bottom line, it comes down to the troopers and just having that good relationship. Personally, and that's what keeps me motivated. If we didn't have a good morale in the platoon, I know I would keep trucking through, just marshaling through the mud. That's just internal to me. So it's a little bit of internal motivation and also external, just knowing we've got good troopers and I want to take care of them.
Makes sense. That's why you guys are like hanging in Discord and building those relationships, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's my turn. I was going to say the troopers, but that got stolen from me by Mr. Panda.
You stole the last one from me.
That's fair.
Last one.
That's fair. What do I do? It's the next task. The next thing to do. The next thing that needs to be done. There's always something to work on. And that's something I'm a busybody. I got to have a couple balls in the air at the same time. That's why I have a couple tasking secondaries as well as being a platoon sergeant. And I have a lot of time at work where I'm a mechanic, and sometimes physically I'm working, but mentally I just am thinking about other things.
Sure.
So it's like pretty much an idea factory flowing out of there. So I'll be in the middle of a job and I'll stop and hop over on Discord because I have a computer on my toolbox, and I'll just message Hilberg, hey, what do you think about this? Or I'll message somebody else in S3, and what do you think about this?
Nice.
And it's always just the next idea, the next task that might lead to something. Like you touched on earlier, there's always ideas and there's always someone to listen to them. And sometimes they don't go anywhere. Sometimes they do. So, you never know where the next groundbreaking or shattering idea might come from.
Yeah, I think you and I are kind of in a similar vein. That's exactly how I approach the Cav. Whether it's like creating new stuff with Discord or getting servers set up for the different games, or then jumping to do some sort of counseling. Like, I feel like the way that I keep going and stay motivated is it's just one thing after another, finding that next mini project, whether it's part of a, larger, great project, or it's just, little thing after little thing after little thing. Totally agree. It's something that's unique about the Cav that you can do. So
can I add into that next?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think sub departments are really important too. I know Westcott's highly involved in multiple sub departments, as I am, in some leadership roles, and it's just we're so engaged in so many levels that we try to be involved in the CAF, right? In the CAF, it's not just the platoon; it's for the whole CAF. So S7, S3, NCOA. Just got finished teaching NCOA on, last night. I think that really inspires you to be like, man, I'm trying to, I want to take care of this because it's important. And for the future of the troopers that are coming in, because we have an influx of troopers coming in, right? A lot of brand new recruits. And that's also inspiring me to be like, hey, we've got to put our best foot forward. Because we have brand new troopers coming in, and they don't know the Cav way, and we're teaching the Cav way. I'll just add on to that. But anyways.
No, I think that's a good piece to add on, so I appreciate it. Next question from one of our listeners. Do you guys have a favorite Cav memory?
Oh, man.
I got a million. What do you got, Westcott? You want to go?
Honestly, I'm going to go with one from, this is a throwback to Ranger selection process a couple years ago. We're nervous as all hell in the middle of an SLM. And there was a gentleman from Scotland with us. and Hilberg, just, we're in formation, set security. Hilberg goes, hey, are you angry or are you just Scottish? And that just absolutely broke the ice for me. And made me kind of relax from then on out, because a good chuckle in the middle of something serious like that really just that one just always will stick with me. I had a really good laugh about that.
Nice.
Well, now you got me blushing.
SLMs. For those that might not know,
that's fine.
The SLMs are the student-led mission portion of Ranger. So it's kind of like when the students are grouped into a section or a fire team or squad, depending on the size of the class. And then they have to go through a pre-prepared scenario and actually act as the SL, give fire commands, do all the stuff that's required of an infantry leader to the highest level, basically, to prove that they are worthy of earning that Ranger tab. It's a unique experience for each applicant, so they're a little different for everybody, and the scenarios, while they have similar plot lines, are always a little different depending on who's running it. So, okay, go ahead, Hilberg.
Great explanation. Shameless plug here. I'm the S7 Arma IS lead instructor. So yeah, if you want to talk Ranger, you can come holler at me in the DMs. That was a great story. I do remember that fondly. If we're going to stick to Ranger, I got a couple. If we're going to stick to Ranger, I remember spending 11 years in the United States Marine Corps and being on the rifle range during Ranger Qual, and actually being nervous and shaking, staring at a computer monitor. And
Right.
I told some fellow people, I'm like, who I knew had some military experience, was like, this is crazy, dude. I'm more nervous than I've been in a long time. But favorite Cav memory, I'm just going to say straight and level. And that's to say straight and level, and I'm going to leave it at that. I got a million.
Those who know.
But
Yeah.
those who know.
Yeah, that is very true, especially about Ranger, with the way that those targets register too, where sometimes it won't register one of your shots, and you're like, no, I know I hit it, but it says I didn't, but I know I did. You get even more anxious for the next 5 shots, 10 shots, however many are left. That is definitely one of the most nerve-wracking aspects of that course. Like it's almost worse than anything else that you do in Ranger. You miss that first step and you're done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's designed that way. We it's that little
Pressure
mini
cooker.
stress test.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. What's the best advice you guys have ever gotten? Whether it's about real life stuff or the Cav, whichever.
I want to say mine. We'll be here for 30 minutes. Sharks and alligators.
No, not the sharks and alligators.
Yeah.
If you guys are interested in that, I have the whiteboard saved somewhere. You guys can look at it.
You'll have to post the link on the forums.
Best advice I've ever received. Are we talking about in life or in the Cav?
Sure. Yeah. Go. You can do in life.
Oh boy. I think Sun Tzu said one time, man who stands on top of toilet is high on pot.
Didn't Confucius say that?
Or is Confucius? Yeah, one of the two.
I'm Confucius.
No, I got something. Yeah, it was Westcott.
Sounds like a Hilbergism.
It was literally Westcott. He said it. Westcott, take it, because I've had a lot of advice. I got to think about this one.
Two things. One that I don't know where it came from, but 10 minutes early is 5 minutes late. And don't be the senior sailor with a secret. Meaning, if there's information that you know that somebody else should know, you should probably share that information, regardless of what repercussions it may have for somebody. I mean, that harkens back to my Navy days, especially in leadership training. You can't put yourself in jeopardy by hiding something for somebody else if they messed up or something went wrong.
Yeah.
You have to face your own consequences, and you have to expect people to face their own consequences as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like saying, just because you're like, let's say you do something illegal but nobody sees it, it doesn't make it not illegal, you're still doing something that's illegal.
The definition of integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody's looking.
Yeah, that's
to me.
100% good advice. I think that's a good one for sure.
I mean, I'll just quickly harken it back to I read. I know it's surprising. I'm a Marine. You think everyone?
You play golf and you read. Next, you're going to tell me you don't actually like crayons like that.
No, I love them. Tropical flavors only, though. So, Extreme Ownership. I would recommend that book for anybody. by Jocko Willink.
Hmm.
Taking ownership in all things that you do is not, it's admitting failure, but it's like, hey, if I communicated to Westcott and my squad leads what the intent is, and they failed to execute potentially, the first thing I need to ask myself is, did I communicate that effectively? Not be like, hey, why did you not do what I said? And I would never, first off, be that way. Like, yeah, just do what I say. But I'm sitting back and thinking, did I communicate this effectively? And how could I communicate it more effectively? So that's the extreme ownership mindset, is
Yeah.
looking back on yourself and saying, I'm taking ownership. What could I have done better? I've taken that to heart in the last 2 years. And I think it's a valuable lesson for anybody in a leadership role. To think, what could I have done better before I even, talk to my guys, my troopers.
I
Yeah.
really love that book. I read it, but I think Sun Tzu said it better because he said pretty much the same thing. Only if it turns out that I did convey my orders and my intent correctly, and they didn't obey it, then just kill them.
I mean, it's always an option.
No survivors. No one can complain if there's no one left.
Sun Tzu was hardcore, man.
My I want to say my favorite piece of advice that I've ever gotten was complaints go up and praise goes down. So basically, if you have an issue, even if you're, let's say you're a platoon leader, right? If you have an issue, you shouldn't go to your SLs and be like, this is such crap. Like, can't believe they're doing this to me. Like, if you actually have a true issue, then you need to pass the complaint up, right? And make sure it gets to the people that can make the change or fix the problem or whatever. But similarly, like, the praise when things go right should always go down. So let's say you have an issue and a bunch of SLs solve it and you didn't ask them to, like, that praise should always come down from the highest level. It shouldn't be something that they wait to receive from their peers or whatever, or their lower. Like, praise should always come down from the top. It's the true trickle down effect of praise. There's nothing more satisfying to me when I was coming up, like getting praise from people that you don't think are watching. It's kind of like ties into that other situation where it's like, do the right thing because nobody's watching. There's nothing more special, and this applies to real life too, when you get like something from a guy that is like your manager. You probably don't think that he's watching your work, but then all of a sudden you're getting a bunch of praise. Maybe you're getting a raise or a bonus or whatever. There's something so satisfying knowing that like what you did was the right thing and it reached the highest levels of praise, if that makes sense. So that's my favorite advice.
Speaking of praise, another thing, praise in public, scold in private.
Yeah. That's ties in again. All these things tie into one. It's just good leadership in general. Like, these are kind of the principles of good leadership.
The other safety brief, best safety brief I ever got was, don't drink and drive, wear a condom. Have a good night.
Yeah, it sounds like something you would need advice on.
I mean, it helped.
I believe it. It's why you're good at reading books now.
Thank you.
And how would you guys define success? Whether that's Charlie Company or, the Cav as a whole. Like, how would you guys define success?
Am I up so you can build on me?
You're up. Yep.
All right, cool.
Build on you. Get out of here.
We always have the tangible metric. Did we accomplish the mission? Personally, I like to look a little deeper. I like to see execution of the basics. That's the thing that makes me the happiest in the world. When I see good bounding, when I see covering fires, when I see buddy teams stuck together, when I hear ace reports just happening naturally in a fire team, that's, to me, a success. Because that's the stuff we constantly harp on. And to see it put into practice in an operational setting or in an SP setting, or even just an MCC or something like that. That's the stuff. That's the good stuff to me right there. That's success.
Yeah, getting a contact report without having to ask for it is one of the most satisfying things as a platoon sergeant or, a first sergeant or whatever, level of leadership in an operation. Like when people are like contact report, you're like, oh my God, I didn't have to ask for it. They're just doing it. What about you, Hilberg? What you got?
I mean, I'd echo the fundamentals 100%. So I'm not gonna piggyback off of Westcott, but definitely fundamentals. Also, knowing that those fundamentals, people are having fun executing them, right? Sometimes it can be mundane, just executing the fundamentals over and over again. But what makes it very easy is that when the fundamentals are muscle movements at that point,
Yeah,
and then you can build upon the bigger things, and you don't have to work on those fundamentals all the time, and you can build towards the higher level execution stuff, like at the squad and platoon level, striking left, striking right, base of fire, engagement areas, area defense, leaders recon, all that stuff. In life, it's just constantly trying to improve yourself and educate yourself, and no one is the smartest person in the room. I don't think I'm the smartest person in the room.
yeah.
I try to surround myself with the smartest people in the room.
I know I'm not the smartest person.
It may make me look smarter, but I promise you, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I've got a lot of smart people in the room.
Always good to assume that there's someone more smart than you.
Mm-hmm.
You almost said more smarter, didn't you?
More smarter than me.
Honestly, I said it in my head. I'm not going to lie.
I'm more smarter.
I did too. Maybe there isn't anybody smarter in this room. I think we're all now sharing one brain
Well,
cell.
You were about 1 second away from me telling you should have called break.
It is a box.
Because that's a 3 to 5 second pause.
Yep. Contact, wait out. So that is also something that I think is just so fundamental of the Cav is, like you guys said, assume that you don't know everything, assume you don't know what you don't know. And always, treat yourself with grace when you don't know something. Like there's a lot of guys who join up, and maybe they're privates or whatever, or maybe they have real life experience, but they mess up on a radio call and then they're embarrassed and then they get scared to do it again. It's like, give yourself grace in those moments because it's not easy to go from one thing to the other. Like you're not going to be an expert right away. You're not going to be, like you said, the smartest person in the room. So like give yourself grace when you do make mistakes and just use those to improve. I think that's like the key to success in the Cav. All right. Now that we're done with serious Cav stuff, let's kind of jump into some more fun, easy questions, light questions. So I think Hilberg, you're up. What is something that you are currently obsessed with? Could be a new game. Could be a favorite food. What's something you're obsessed with?
Obsessed with. This is going to be very disappointing, but I don't have a lot of time to be obsessed with anything. So it's the Cav, it's work, and then any free time I get, I spend with my dog and my friends. So
you don't have like a favorite food that you eat all the time right now, or like anything like that?
I like all food, and it's just whim of what I want to eat at the time.
Sure.
Only food I don't like is lima beans. I can't. I just texture it.
Yeah.
Lima beans. I just can't stand them.
Yeah, I could see that.
I already know what Westcott's favorite food is.
Dino nuggets.
I think no, not dino nuggets. Taquitos.
Taquitos.
I do love a good taquito. Little tapatio on the so good.
A couple things I'm currently obsessed with. One is a band called Storm Warning.
Oh my God.
They're a prog rock band from 1975 to 1979, and my little brother just turned me on to them. And for some reason, I just can't stop listening to them. Absolutely fantastic if you're into that stuff. And the other is the conspiracy theories about whether or not Benji from Schedule 1 is a narcotics officer or not.
Oh yeah, I have seen some stuff about that. Or he like comes rolling out of his house in the cop uniform, or at least it looks like him.
Oh, there is a ridiculous amount of lore and backstory and fan fiction about it now. It is
Well,
hilarious.
and like the whole thing too is he does like the cops don't have names, right? Like they just say policeman or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deep dive right there. I have never watched the show Yellow Jackets. I'm sure you guys are familiar. It's that Showtime show.
Yep.
I've never watched it, but I'm obsessed with looking up the lore about it. Even though I know nothing about the show. Like something random will just come across my feed on like Reddit or something, and I'll be like, "Huh, I wonder what this ancient symbol is." And then I like look into it. I'm like, "What the heck is going on in this show?" Like I have no idea about any of it. So that's like my weird obsession right now. The other thing that I'm always obsessed with is hot tamales, like the candy. I don't eat it as much anymore because it's like so bad for you, right? It's just like pure sugar.
Yeah, it's terrible.
But something about hot tamales, like the cinnamon and the texture and everything is just, it just hits right, you know? So that's my other random guilty pleasure obsession.
Aren't they like exactly the same as Mike's Red Hots
Yeah,
or whatever they
they're
are?
basically-
But they just
yeah.
they taste different. You can tell the difference, but
there's
they're exactly
something
the same.
different, but they're basically
Yeah.
the same. Yep, absolutely. What about you, Burton?
Oh,
What's
if
your
we're talking
secret
about like
obsession?
food, man.
I mean, it could be
Sorry,
anything.
go ahead, Bert. Dude, chicharrones with a good guacamole. I'd smash that all day.
Yeah, I could eat that pretty much any day.
And I'm
With
talking
guacamole-
homemade chicharrones.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
guacamole is good with just about anything, man. I mean, well, except for ice cream or something stupid like that. But
I don't honestly. There
Um,
probably is a really good avocado
there
ice
is,
cream out
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Because
probably
the fats
gelato.
alone,
Mm.
any fat like that is in avocado, whatever that fat is so good. Like it's so
Yeah.
buttery and good.
it really is. As far as obsessions are concerned, I've been pretty much just work for like the last 4 months. It's just been work, and then new game probably Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 was was at the top of my new release list this year, and then Reforger.
Yeah. I had never played the first Kingdom Come until very recently. It was on
Really?
Steam sale or something. Yeah, it was on Steam sale for like, I don't know, $5 or something. And it's so good. So now I'm like, cool, next year or 2 years or whatever, when Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is on super sale. Now I know what game I'm going to play in like 2 years. And the nice thing is,
Hey,
like, with games like that, they're not multiplayer. There's no, like, you don't have to have a certain deadline to play it. Like, you just pick it up whenever it's super cheap, and you get the benefit of playing the game. And you don't really miss out on anything, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you can do this wonderful thing called pausing. Like if you need to step away from the desk, you
Yeah.
can just pause the game.
Yeah, that has been, especially because I just had my daughter back in December. So, like, a lot of single-player games right now are my jam because there's not much you can do with multiplayer games as far as pausing and being able to step away. Like, even this Cav Cast, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I might be missing bath time right now, and it's like I can't pause the Cav Cast. So it's like you end up making so many sacrifices, but it's so worth it in the end. But it is so beneficial to have a single player game that you can pause.
100%.
Not to derail anything, but Hilberg, someone donated $5 to the Cav server fund, so I have to call you Panda for the remainder of the quarter.
Outstanding.
That's the motivation that I look
I'm
for.
pretty sure, speaking of obsession, not mine, but there's a Schedule 1 starter platoon growing within the Cav right now.
I don't even know what sort of badges we could award for that, but I'm sure we could figure something out.
What even is Schedule 1?
It's
Oh.
Burden. Yeah. I'll
Sweet
answer
summer
you
child.
outside.
you ever played GTA but without any of the like seriousness?
You mean like just running around and causing havoc and
Yeah, basically
shooting
being like a
people
drug
and-
dealer and running the city. It's basically
Yeah,
what
no,
Schedule 1
never.
is. You're the
Well,
sole
and you
you're
start
the
an
sole
apartment.
provider, and You basically turn an entire city into drug addicts. That's Schedule 1.
That
Where heads turn on fire, you can pick up trash and put it in the trash for cash. A dumpster. Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild.
you know,
It's just
I
name
I thought the
drug
world
names.
I thought the world was going to hell back when they came out with Farming Simulator, like people actually simulating
Hey,
something that
hey.
people go out and
Don't
do.
you dare.
But I mean, now we've got like fast food simulator and all this other stuff coming out, and I just like, oh
You
man.
laugh and you joke, but we literally all are in a Milsim clan. So
No, I know.
it's like
No,
the
I know. It's
original simulator was Milsim.
we there's been a yeah, no, I'm aware of the milsim, but it's just crazy. Like when I was younger, I worked fast food, and never
Yeah.
in my life did I ever once imagine somebody actually making a game based off that experience, much
Yeah.
less making any money off of it.
Yeah, it is wild to me. You could pretty much make a simulator of anything in real life and people will probably buy it at this point.
Oh my god, it's like the future.
Yeah, we're just slowly becoming
Podcast
the Matrix.
simulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Why
my
are we
god,
not
that's
doing
a
this?
genius game.
Well, I might age myself here, but it reminds me of that Office episode where where Dwight is a assistant to the regional manager in Second Life. Like he has the ability to create his life in whatever way he wants. So he just makes it a duplicate of everything that he does in real life.
Yeah.
Well, he's sure of himself. He knows exactly where he wants to be.
That's exactly it. Yeah, it's just practice for real
100%.
life. It's real life with resets is what it is. All right. Hilberg, what is something that you do that's like a daily ritual or habit?
XX. Daily ritual or habit.
And you can't use something basic like I brush my teeth.
Damn
Like
it,
what's
that was
something
mine.
that
Totally.
what's something
100%,
that
was
only
mine.
Hilberg does? Like
only Hilbert does. I wake up because I haven't been to the gym in a while, so I do push-ups and crunches, and then I walk my dog, come back, make some coffee, get ready for the day.
it's a pretty
And
good
then
ritual.
I send shit memes to Westcott.
Would you
rest
say
of the
you
day.
send at least one meme every day to Westcott?
Yeah, I will.
At least.
I will
Yeah,
say he
yeah,
does.
that's about average. Yeah. Or
fair.
screenshots I find funny. Or, yeah, it's always something. Just keep
That's
it
fair.
lighthearted.
What about you, Westcott?
Daily ritual habit, something that's kind of turned into an obsession of mine, and I find myself doing it is get up, do the morning stuff, ready to walk out the door. I'm all put together. I have to check the weather because I have a car or a motorcycle, and I live in Florida. So if it's raining too much, or I think it's gonna be a shit day, I'll take the car, or if it's not, I'll take the motorcycle. So it's almost become like an ingrained part of my routine. It's almost like a ritual. Is put together, spectacles, wallet, watch, all that stuff. Look at phone for weather.
Nice. That's a good one. Yeah, because not
So
I would say not everybody does look at the weather. I'm always shocked by the number of people that go through life without worrying about the weather at all.
I'm surprised by weather a lot.
All
Oh,
right.
actually, I'll give you a funny story. Is 2 SPs ago, there's a siren going off, and I'm like, this is weird, dude. Why is that? This is not no, it's definitely not Wednesday. It's Sunday. There was a tornado, only EF 0, so it's like a slight breeze.
Sure.
But it was
Little
like half a mile from the townhouse. Just cruising by, and I'm like, hey, priorities, dude. We got SP. Shelter in place. Nah, screw you, dog.
That's why you put the computer set up in the basement. Then you never have to worry about shelter in place. You're always
You know what?
sheltered in place.
Look at you thinking ahead.
Yep.
I saw your basement build out. How's that coming?
It is.
Coming along.
It got a little derailed thanks to the child, but that's okay. It's like 99% there.
99%? What's 99% complete versus 100% complete?
I basically just have to clean up stuff. Like I just have tools and shit everywhere that just needs to be put in its place. So that's the last 1%. Because like all the infrastructure's there, right? You just got to put all the pieces to where they're supposed to be.
You just look like you're playing in a Dexter basement. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
it's just a pile of shit everywhere. The people want to know, Hilberg, about your dog. What kind of dog do you have? Tell us about
Pitbull.
your dog.
Lily. Her name is Lily. Pitbull. 8 years old. Starting getting a little gray around the nose.
Pepper, little pepper faces are the
Yeah,
cutest.
little pepper face. Yep, but it's starting to like keep continuing to come back. She doesn't act like it.
Approximately how long are her ears? They want to know.
Let's see. One middle finger long.
That is an
I don't know if
interesting unit of measurement.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's seen that guy's videos, but they're hilarious. One
Also,
middle
Joe,
finger, two middle
I'll
fingers.
send you a video, Burton, that'll put it in context for you.
Oh God! All right.
I appreciate it.
What's a book, movie, podcast, something that you guys would recommend that you enjoy?
I recently got discovered, or I don't know how I discovered it, but SAS Rogue Heroes on Amazon Prime Video through MGM Plus. The story about how it's a historical reimagining with some creative liberties taken of how the British SAS started in the deserts in the beginning of World War II. And it's fantastically good.
Really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's very good. These guys are basically criminals and just sick of losing, getting their ass kicked by the Nazis, and they just like, okay, we're just gonna jump out of planes behind enemy lines now, and no one's gonna say anything about it. So they just did it. And
hey,
we started blowing stuff up. It is a great series.
So is that like a Prime specific series, or was it just like
I found it on Prime Video.
On Prime?
MGM Plus, Amazon Prime. If you go to Amazon Prime, but
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got a free 7-day trial for MGM Plus just to watch it, and nice. I watched all 2 seasons of it so far in like 2.5 days.
That's awesome. I always love when you find shows like that. Like there was a movie that came out at one point. I think it was called like Land of Bad or something. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's on Netflix now, but it's one of those movies where it's like it didn't get any advertising. Like my wife and I just happened to go see it on like a random Tuesday, and we were like, "Oh damn, this movie's so like why didn't this movie get any advertising or traction? Like it was so good."
Land of Bad isn't that one with what's his face, Jamie Lannister?
No. Well,
oh no, I know
it's
what you're
Russell.
talking about.
It's like Russell Crowe's like a drone operator.
Yeah,
and
such a good movie.
I don't remember the actor's name, but I think he's a Hemsworth. And he plays like a JTAC, or like he's the JTAC on a SEAL team or something. But he's like, it's like his first mission basically. So it's like super, I don't know. It's just good. It's one of those shows that's like,
you ever jumped out of a plane? No.
It's one of those movies where it's like, it's so over the top, but it's so good. It's just good. Go check it out. It's on Netflix.
It's a good action movie that you just don't see being made anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it's just a good action movie. So yeah, that's my my recommendation for a movie.
You know what? I was about to say what my favorite part of the movie was, but spoilers, so I won't say it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. It's a good movie.
There's a lot of accurate things in that movie. As a former JTAC, and a lot of inaccurate movie, but it happens.
It's Hollywood. I mean, you know what I mean? Like they got to make some liberties with it to make it entertaining.
I will say the show that Westcott recommended, he put me on it. I started watching it last night, and the first thing I sent him, it's, this is Westcott and I. This is the type of messaging we have with each other, with funny memes and just stuff. There was a time when the captain, he just got promoted. He finally got promoted and approved to run, the SAS at this time. And they're all walking into a tent, and he's saying yes or no. and he's asking them very direct questions to recruit them, and they're very direct questions to the point. Like, I'm asking you one question, I'm going to say yes or no, and one of them was like, "How many women have you slept with?" He's like, 12, sir. He's like, "Yeah," and he stamped the paperwork and pushed him off to the side, and that's the exact message I sent him. And then Westcott
Yep.
this morning was like, "I knew you'd like it." Um,
One of the
But-
applicants was really young, and he's like,
Yeah.
"How old are you?" He's like, "I don't really think of my age as how old I am, but how many Nazis I've killed." And in that case, I'm 21. Stamped. He's in.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Stamped you in. But
It's
as far as
giving like
books, I've
Inglorious
been-
Bastards vibes. I love it.
Yeah, as far as books, John C. Maxwell
Mm.
has the 17 Essential Qualities of a Team Player. Great book. I've started reading recently. Like I said, Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. I'm telling you, I know it's Jocko. Everyone gives Jocko a bad rap. He's like, "Oh, he's a SEAL. He's got supplements. He's trying to do all this." What he says is true fundamentally, and it's very simple. But John C. Maxwell, 17 Essential Qualities of a Team Player. I'm holding the book in my hand right now.
Love it. Do you when you read books, are you taking notes? Are you journaling while you do it? What kind of book reader are you?
I journal a lot, and I have my books tabbed and like highlighted and written. And yes,
Nice. I
I
love that.
constantly go back to them. So
I love that. Rodal wants to know when we're going to do an ASMR cast. So yeah, I guess I'll have to set that up. I think I can get a new microphone for that. I'll put it in the budget. I'll just whisper sweet nothings about the Cav into people's ears.
depends on the ASMR. Are we eating taquitos
We're
or
gonna
Yeah,
cut
maybe
soap
I'll
on
just-
this
I'll-
channel. Is that what we're doing?
I'll eat taquitos into the microphone.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to dip out on that one, man.
I'll get at
That's like-
least one listener, and it'll be Westcott.
Yeah.
I just
You have me
I-
at taquitos.
I can't handle people eating into the microphone. I can't do it. I just can't do it.
What if
I'm
it's
famous for-
like a really cute like kitten like chomping on kibbles? Would you listen to that?
No.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know. I don't know why, man. It's like, you know, I will fly off the handle at somebody like munching on a bag of chips over a hot mic. I
Do
just,
you,
I can't stand it.
Do you have a pet, Burton? Like cat or dog?
Used to.
You
to.
know, what the worst ASMR that I can think of would be is a dog or cat or an animal licking their armpits or whatever while you're trying to fall asleep.
Yes.
That would that would be the
Oh.
worst
Why would you
ASMR
put that in my head?
of all time.
Thanks for that.
Yep, you're welcome. Think about it. You put it on I'll make like a 10-hour loop of that. People can fall asleep to it. I'll put like animal sleeping sounds 10-hour version.
Burton Chow is continuous. So I know push to talk is the thing, but I'm just saying.
No, I'm aware, but you know, son of a gun. It's just, you know, I don't know. I can't explain why. It just irks the heck out of me.
I'm self-conscious about it. I Irish goodbye all the time just to get out of
Yeah,
there. So
it's
if
a
people,
half.
people don't hear
Yup.
It's a half
Yeah,
Irish
and it-
goodbye. So my foot's here, bye.
me, yeah.
Yeah, it's smart. Hit that mute button. There should be a way to auto mute people. Like the microphone should understand that someone's chomping something and then mute it automatically. That's what we need to use AI for.
Yeah, but
Alright.
how do you define what they're eating? You know,
It doesn't matter. Nobody wants to
because
hear
it might be
any chomp
physical
sounds.
evidence.
That's true.
Anyways, yeah.
All right. Final question for you guys before we end the Cav Cast this evening. What's your guilty pleasure, if you're willing to admit it?
Driving way too fast in any kind of vehicle that I have.
Ugh, that's a dangerous one.
Yeah, I know.
Do you
It's
wear
an
a
idiotic
helmet at
one.
least? Do you wear a helmet?
I
when you
wear
ride your
full safety
motorcycle?
gear.
All
Yeah,
right.
full safety.
Well, at least you're doing one thing.
And I'm not like I'm doing hundreds of miles an hour. But I get there real quick.
Yeah, I get you.
I'd say for mine, it's coffee ice cream.
Ooh,
Been a coffee ice cream lover since I was a little kid. I was always like,
Lamocus.
I want vanilla, I want cookies cream, I want coffee ice cream. Like, you're weird. Like,
Have you ever
I
had
don't like it.
chocolate covered espresso beans?
I have.
Dude, I bought a
Sure.
thing of those once, and I ate one, and next thing I knew, I ate like half the tin of it. Ooh, that was a bad
Yeah.
idea.
It's a lot of caffeine, man. Just making
Well,
pure
knowing your
coffee within
past,
your mouth.
knowing your past, Westcott, I'm not going to say anything on this podcast. But yeah,
Fair
that's
enough.
probably a bad idea.
What about you, Nex? What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm trying to think because I used to have a guilty pleasure. I would get like soda, like a Coke Zero or something. I would do that like pretty regularly. But now I've completely stopped drinking soda just because it's one, really expensive. Two, it's just not good for you. Man, you know,
What
okay,
soda did you drink?
what sodas did I drink?
Yeah, that's
Um,
one. That was a favorite.
Most people don't know of it or haven't heard of it, but Verner's, it's like a ginger ale.
It's ginger ale.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
Dude,
if you're
most
not from
people
the
haven't heard of it?
Midwest, I mean, if you're not from like the Midwest or like any region in the U.S. that doesn't have it, then you probably don't know about
Yeah,
it.
you're trying to be inclusive. I get it. Yep.
But Verner's is by far the best ginger soda of all time. Like, no questions asked.
Your
But yeah,
go-to
that
is
was-
ginger ale, dude. You are.
Dude, Verner's just
White rice
hits
is spicy.
different. I'm just telling you. Verner's
You
hits
don't
different.
understand.
And Verner's with a really good Irish whiskey fucking slaps. So that's all I'm gonna say.
That's like saying my guilty pleasure is cough syrup.
Okay. Okay, someone's not a man of class. I get it. You know, all right. My guilty pleasure right now is whenever I get in the car, I always put on Sabrina Carpenter and listen to one of her songs.
Oh,
my
dude.
God.
It
Sabrina
just-
Carpenter slaps.
Something about it, dude. It just hits different. All right, and you can come at me, but that she's talented, or her songwriters are talented. However you want to word
Do
it.
you roll down the windows, dude? at the
Hell yeah.
stoplight?
It's so nice out. The weather's getting warm. And I always turn to the guy, and I'm pretty sure it's people just like Hilberg, and I stare him right in the eyes as I sing.
No, dude, I'd be bumping along with you. Just
Right?
like I wouldn't admit it on a podcast.
Well,
Juno's my jam. I'm not gonna.
I
lie.
don't think I'm ever gonna run. Well, that's not true. I've run into people from the Cav a lot.
Dude, Westcott, his guilty pleasure is Taylor Swift. He didn't say it, but he loves some T Swift.
I am a Swiftie.
Yep, you are.
You and like everyone else. Oh,
Never
that's
meet
great.
your heroes, folks.
Yeah, never.
meet your heroes.
All right, Burton, you're last. Go ahead.
Hey, no, I'm the co-host. I don't have to say.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You
Uh,
can't. You
all right,
can't just
all
shut up when it gets to the fun question.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna throw down here. All right, so I work remotely, and I have to do conference calls for work.
Mhm.
My guilty pleasure is not wearing pants for conference calls. Swimming trunks, workout shorts, boxers, doesn't matter. No pants for conference calls.
Are you wearing like a suit for the top part though, like a button-up shirt and a tie?
Yeah,
and
and a top
Dude,
hat. Top hat.
dude,
You got a top hat on?
I have worn a button up and a tie. Yes, I have done that. Like straight up,
Oh man.
straight up Donald Duck status.
Love
Donald
it.
throw
Duck,
the
Yeah.
just
top hat
shirt
on,
cocking it.
Coincidentally, that's how Hilberg attends all meetings, Zoom or not.
Oh, that's that's Misfit standard dress code for
1000%.
for
Yeah.
SP.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, that is
Standard
gonna
load
do
up,
it.
no pants.
That's gonna do it for the Cav Cast tonight. It was an absolute pleasure having you guys on. Is there anything you guys want to say before we sign off?
Let's count.
I'll
What
go.
you got?
I want to say a big thank you to Misfit section leaders. We're not always heaping praise on you guys, but I want you guys to know that you guys are absolutely crushing it. Week in, week out. Thanks for all you do, and join the Cav. There you go.
Love it. Got any
All I'll
closing
say is I'm
remarks?
super excited for Armor Forger transition and the merger and the work we're doing with 17 ACD. We just had to join SP last Monday, which was phenomenal, by the way, and super excited for that, and just moving forward into the future. And yes, as Westcott said, all leadership we got doing great things. Keep up the good work. Sign your roll call. Show up to SP.
Love it. All right. On that note, thank you for tuning into the Cav Cast. We will see you guys next time.